Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode.
So, Friday, tomorrow, it's going to be National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Other than that, there's been nothing, no Chelsea drama this week. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with every single lion. I got Ollie, I got Berth, I got Chris. It's the Friday show on a Thursday. And the question that everyone wants to know, is Ollie doing anything this weekend? What are you looking forward to this weekend? Ollie, you can start. I'm ready.
Are you kidding me? I just had a holiday and now you want me doing stuff every week. What do you want from me, people?
Everything.
Jesus.
Every time.
Honestly. No, I'm doing fuck all this weekend and I'm going to enjoy doing it.
That's just shocking. Shocking.
Nice.
What about
Nice.
you, Chris? Chris, what about you? Come on.
Standard football weekend. Got
Ooh.
game tomorrow, which is a later kickoff though, which I am happy about because we have been kicking off at 8:45 in the morning, and I can tell you now,
Ooh.
trying to get a load of 11 and 12-year-old girls up for a game at 8:45 in the morning is not ideal. But we're 11:15 tomorrow, so they should be at least semi awake.
Yeah, that's true.
Which should be better, I would hope.
You'd hope so. What about you, Berth?
Yeah, you know what? To be fair, I've been suspended from football for the past 2 weeks, so I'm actually able to play this weekend. So I'm quite looking forward to
red
that.
card.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a red card. I was a naughty boy a couple of weeks ago, but I'm back. I can play, and hopefully I can get 90 minutes in my belt. So that'll be good.
I'm just looking forward to doing stuff. You know, everyone knew I had the virus. I'm better, negative. It's all good. I still tired, but football reasons. The Inter versus Milan derby. That looks fun. That's at 2:15. That's on a Sunday though, so it's technically the weekend's nearly over. And at the same time, you got Lyon Marseille, which I feel like two really good games there. They're at the same bloody time. And it's 7:45, so I'm not watching them. I'm watching the NFL. Everyone knows that. That's annoying.
Ring that bell. Ring that bell.
Ring. I haven't done it in a while. Where is that bell? There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Right, but we're not going to dive into the news just yet because we've got a Shevva shout out.
Here we go.
Searching_Alaska. And it's a big one. It's a big review. I like my Chelsea pods like I like my coffee, and they've given a 5-star review. Of course they have. So tasteful, and I only need one to get me through the day. I started listening to At the Bridge Pod during the Tuchel campaign, and have since experienced an ownership change, managerial changes quicker than my divorce, several matches that should have been uncontested, a Mason Mount transfer saga. Cue Mike Tomlin here. Oh yeah, you're damn right. Where is that button? I've got to find it. There we go.
We do not care.
I'd forgot about that. And what was the next bit? An IKEA trip, a missing wing mirror, a wedding, and the coat of Lone Army Carousel. Oh, that's good. What an adventure. Can't say enough positive things about the boys and the pod. Very professional, very honest, and very loyal to the club. I look forward to my drive home on Monday and Thursday each week. Keep up the good work and up the Chelsea. That is awesome. I love that.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Also, just like, from one man to another, it's nice to be in the divorce club. I'm divorced. It's all good. You're better for it. Chelsea always bring up the spirits, kind of. So it's all good.
So I called you the ghost of Lone Army Carousel.
No, the goat. The goat.
Oh, okay.
Which,
I was going to call him the
not
ghost.
anymore. Yeah, it's more
never
I'll tell you what, Ali, you need to stay in your lane. So I'm coming for you later.
So I remember the IKEA trip. That was a good time. What was the wing mirror?
That was Chris. Chris lost his wing mirror.
Did it? I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Still off. It's still
What
off.
was
It's
What was the
still
IKEA
off.
trip? I don't remember. I don't remember the IKEA trip.
I
Was
went
that
to
Chris as
IKEA.
well?
No, it was
was
me.
it?
I went to
No,
IKEA.
that was my IKEA. I don't go to IKEA, Berth.
That was
I
around
refuse that sort of stuff.
I went to IKEA the time because I remember coming back from IKEA and I was doing my chest of drawers and we were losing to Forest.
What were you doing to your chest of drawers?
I was creating them. I was flat packing furniture. I was making it. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Come
Yeah.
on. Right. With that, news time. Right, let's hit that elevator of Chelsea news, see what you may have missed. Chelsea are understood to be open to offloading Mikhailo Mudryk in January. Chelsea may be tempted to sell Josh Achempong for the right price, with Newcastle monitoring the 18-year-old. Jadon Sancho reportedly is earning $100,000 a week at Chelsea. He took a massive $250,000 pay cut to join his so-called dream club. There was a moment in the summer when Chelsea were considering the possibility of selling Noni Madueke at the end of June. The two clubs interested were Newcastle and RB Leipzig. And finally, Esteban Willian apparently wants to be played as a number 10, which caused some stir on social, I noticed. And we've got a big episode, but anything from the news you want to touch on before we do move?
No, actually, kind of a quiet week for news, wasn't it?
It's like really quiet, really
quiet.
nice.
Yeah, nice for a change. So I think let's just hop into the main show. I don't think any of that really needs much discussion, does it?
Well, the Esteval thing came up, and I was like, "Oh, great, some drama." Oh.
I mean, who cares really? He's a 17-year-old kid. He's gonna say stuff, or even if it is him, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, obviously, he's a young kid. He thinks he's the best going. You know, he's going to be fearless at that age. He's going to want to come in, play where he wants to. That's natural at that age. And I mean, we'll see where he fits in when he comes in. But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind his confidence at all.
Yeah, it just depends who's the manager, because you never don't get confident thinking it'll be Maresca. You have no idea. We don't even know that. Not anymore.
No, very true. Very true.
Right. So this episode's going to be a two-parter, because in the second half we will be doing a fantasy draft where we create our own Dark Arts 11, aka Shithouse 11. We can't say shit in the episode title. That's a naughty word. And it's just too complicated and we don't want to get censored. So Harry Potter reference 11, it'll just have to do. But the first half of the show, we will preview the upcoming 2024-25 season for the Chelsea women. They've all skipped ahead. If they have, whatever, they're missing out on good content here.
Gone.
But they won't know. They won't know. Now, I could not. I mean, we literally kick off the season.
No, here's what we're going to do now. When we finish this segment, before we get into the next bit, we're all going to have to do a bit where we sort of laugh and say that might be the best segment we've ever done and force them all to go back.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's do that.
Right, without further ado. So, Chelsea women's off-season in 60 seconds. 7-time WSL champion and greatest of all time, Emma Hayes left her managerial post to join the US women's national team. We hired Leon boss Sonia Bompastor as her replacement on a 4-year deal. She is joined by her assistants Camilla Billy and Theo Riverin. Major departures included Jess Carter, Yelena Kankovic, Melanie Lupols, Mara Meld and Frank Kirby. The big name signings included Julia Bartel, Orion Jean-Francois, Sandy Baltimore and Lucy Bronze. Major new contracts were handed out to Sam Kerr, Keris Brown and Katie Cox. Pre-season results were a 3-1 win over Gotham FC, 1-0 over Arsenal and a 9-0 win over Feyenoord. Other headlines from the off-season you may have missed were a season-ending injury to Sophie Ingle. Niamh Charles looked to have dislocated her shoulder in the game against Feyenoord. The exact nature of that injury is yet to be confirmed. And an Olympic gold medalist in the ranks now, Katerina Macario. Wow, amazing. I mean, as well, of course, under Emma Hayes, of course it is. Fair play. Right, so that was the off-season covered. So now to separate our preview from, there's going to be a lot out there on the internet, we know that. And I just thought I'd pose some questions to the team to which they can then just share their thoughts openly and whatever, and we'll go from there. So, first question. What are your significant question marks heading into this season?
Mine's going to be squad management.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
I
It's not a
think
bad one.
Emma Hayes was really good at having a deep squad full of quality, but keeping everybody happy. And we've got that still. We're going to have top class players when everyone's fit, and hopefully everyone will be. But when everyone's fit, we're going to have really good players who would start for probably every other WSL team, sat on the bench. And it's how you manage that. And that is difficult because Hayes liked to rotate a lot. Like, it was rare that she put out the same starting 11 for week after week after week. She did sort of earmark games where you could, bring 3-4 players in to the team and still get the result. But I think with Bompastor still learning about the WSL as well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. She might be a bit more hesitant to make that many changes for games that we probably win anyway. So squad management is probably my biggest question mark going into the season.
Yeah,
so that's that thing about getting comfortable with the squad as well, like, so you know who you can rely on. But until Sonia has enough time to sort of learn that inside and out and know who she can rely on at what times, she, if she finds a few that who are doing well, she's going to want to stick with them for a while.
Yeah, on the topic of the manager, I mean, my question is, how well can this team adapt under a new manager? I mean, losing a successful manager is hard. Losing one who has been with the club for over a decade, who is not only the most successful and the greatest the club has ever had, but the entire league has ever had, that's huge. We only have one comparison in a similar vein, and that was when Sir Alex left United. That didn't go too well. But pre-season is just that. It's only pre-season. The opening 5 games I found are going to be the baptism of fire because, yes, you do have Villa. You then have Palace. They're like mild sources, I think. But then they're not much to worry about, But then you get to the hot sources. You've got Man United. You've got Arsenal. You've got Spurs. Back to back to back. That will be... There's no easy games in the WSL, but them 3 games, Man United, Arsenal, and then, of course, a derby against Spurs. That's big. I think that's going to tell us a lot very early on.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's going to be interesting, and I hope they don't compare it to Emma Hayes, because I think it is unfair. And Bompastor is a great manager in her own right, so she deserves the respect from the media and stuff and online. It just will be very interesting how the players react to it. How it is going to be interesting to see who her favourites are, because all managers have their favourites and how they can adapt to her. And it's going to be really interesting. I think our first couple of games on paper look good for her, but then it does get a bit more difficult. So hopefully, if we get a couple of wins under our belt, that'll gain confidence from the fans and the players and sort of get the momentum going, because that's what you need when a new manager comes in. It's momentum.
Well, that's the thing. Expectations at Chelsea are always going to be high.
Yeah.
We've never been in this position before. We've never had a new manager. How ironic, when you compare how different the women and the men's team is. One, there's always a manager new, chopping and changing the manager every time. The women's team, always consistency with the manager. So that's the question. That's why I've got it down. It's huge for me.
It's really interesting because obviously when Mourinho went from Chelsea, it's the only comparison we can really make. We had Avram Grant in, and then we brought in. Who did we bring in after Avram Grant?
Ancelotti after Grant.
Wasn't it Scolari?
Scolari, weren't it?
Yeah, Scolari.
That's what
went well.
Yeah, exactly. But and that's the interesting thing. If we'd have got Scolari in straight after Mourinho, would it have been different? If we'd have got Ancelotti in straight after Mourinho to that transitional manager, would it have been different? It's always the players need to understand that there's different styles of managing. You're not going to get Emma Hayes now. So how quickly they can adapt to it.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Next question. What are you keeping an eye on in the first few games of the season?
Ooh, I've got a good one. I've got a good couple ones for this, actually. My first one is I'm really interested to see who is going to be the starting striker going forward. Because, of course, you've got Sam Kerr's going to be fit again, ready to go for the new season. We know what she can do. She's unbelievable. But you've also got someone like Maya Ramirez, who actually really hit the ground running last season. Most expensive women's striker ever. Has come in, has performed really well. Can she kick on? It'll be interesting to see how she does because, of course, Emma Hayes will have brought in her, having a lot of faith in her. See, be interesting to see if Sonia has the same kind of faith in her. And then, of course, you've got someone like Aggie Beaver-Jones, who just seems to score more goals than I have hot showers. So, like you've got a lot of options. It's going to give Sonia like the biggest but best kind of headache for squad management. Is who do you make that number 9 for most of the season?
Yeah, I mean that is absolutely huge. I mean, obviously Sam Kerr, I don't believe she's going to be firing for tomorrow's game against Villa. I don't believe she's good. I think it was into next month more so.
Yeah, but she'll be back for like the start of the season proper.
Oh yeah, for certain. I mean, for me, not question wise, what am I keeping an eye on? It's kind of the same as in my question, because it's how we perform against Man United, against Arsenal and Spurs, because that trio of games is huge. And I'm hopeful that by then we're going to see a consistent style of play alongside some exciting new change to the team that distinguishes Sonia's Chelsea from Emma's Chelsea. Because you referred to it earlier about the media, they're going to make comparisons. They will make comparisons. But I do feel when it comes to the women's game that the media are they're nicer. I feel that they're not as aggressive, and I like that because it doesn't create a good environment or a good atmosphere. But I feel that the media they're more fair, they're more balanced.
That kind of that kind of links to my second one for this actually is you kind of mentioned it a little bit, Mikey, is but I want to know like how what I'm going to be looking at is how this team bounces back this season. Under Emma Hayes, we almost never lost, but on the occasions where we did, we always bounced back as strongly as possible as soon as we could. And it'd be interesting to see what happens when there's that first little wobble. A draw maybe against a team you would be expected to beat, or a loss maybe even against somebody, and the media will have things to say about that because obviously, like you said, that as much as they are a little bit nicer on the women's side of the game, they're also like everyone's always ready to sort of like pull down a giant on top of the perch, right? So the media will be clamoring at the ability to get at us if we aren't on top form this season, and I want to see how the players and the manager react to that, because I don't think it's something they will have experienced in quite a long time.
I agree. Oh, Chris, what are you keeping an eye on?
For me, it's sort of team selection and tactical setup in general. I think mainly because I think Emma Hayes' biggest asset was we played so many different ways. I think the reason why we were so hard to play against is because she wasn't 100% certain what we was going to do. So, 1 week it'd be 4-4-2. Then the week after it'd be 4-2-3-1. Then it'd be a back 5. And it'd be like, well, I don't know what they're doing. So it's hard to prepare for a team that's unpredictable. And it'll be interesting to see whether Bompastor is more of a modern coach, if you like, and has a setup and a way of playing, and that's what we do and that's it. Or whether she's going to be as adaptable as Emma Hayes was to the game that we're playing. So because the fact that we're losing that does worry me a little bit, because I think that's why we've been so successful, that unpredictability. So I wouldn't want to become one of those teams who we set up like this, we play like this. Doesn't matter if we're playing Crystal Palace at home or Arsenal away. Yeah, we'll play exactly the same way. I don't think the best coaches do that. I don't think they have just one.
Well, they stay a step ahead, don't they? That's how you stay on top.
Yeah. Like even, you look at Guardiola, who's like the benchmark in this game now. The reason why they win so many titles year after year is because every year they do something different. Yes, the foundations of how they play are the same, but he tweaks something every summer to keep people guessing.
Yeah. And it makes it harder to work out.
Yeah, they won the title with false 9. Then they brought in Haaland, an out number 9, and everyone was like, "Oh well, we don't know how to deal with that."
Yeah.
And then sometimes then he started the whole inverting the fullback thing, and now they don't do that.
Yeah, or playing the centre back.
It's really
the fullback
interesting.
Position.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'd be interested to see how she adapts, and it'll be whether. I think the first 2 games, I think you can probably put our team out in sort of any formation, and we should get the results. But like you said, the following 3, the big games, does she tweak things based on the opponent? That's what I'm looking out for.
Berth, what are you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, to be fair, I'll put sort of adaptability down for the manager and the players. Chris and Ollie both now nailed it on the head, to be fair. His Bompastor still going to be able to adapt and sort of change your game to what the teams are going to do, what other managers are going to do. And also, is the intensity going to be there from the players? I think Emma Hayes is a fantastic... she's just a real good motivator. And I think that's very hard to replicate. So I think, is Bompastor going to get that same intensity, that same reaction from the players that Emma Hayes did? So that'll be something I do want to keep an eye out for. But, you know, I'm relatively positive about it. I'm not going to say I'm negative because I think she's a great manager. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Right. What are you most looking forward to ahead of this season? You know what? I will go with mine. I've got Sam Kerr being back because on paper, we have the best squad depth when it comes to our forwards. You've got Sam Kerr, you've got Myra Ramirez, you've got Mia Fishel, Lauren James, Katarina Macario, Aggie Beaver-Jones. I could continue because there's more, but you know, having Sam back is just a huge boost, not just for the firepower, but for the leadership, the personality she brings. You know, she's well loved, respected, and she's a bloody good player. And we missed her when we obviously, you know, last season, yeah, we got goals from elsewhere, but we missed those goals. And if she's obviously it's an ACL, you never can, you know, you never know. But I'm quietly confident that, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what all our how Sonia uses all those forwards because they're bloody incredible. That is, I still can't believe that list of names is insane.
Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah,
what are you looking forward to?
I mean, I could say just in the team because this is a team I really enjoy watching. But if I wanted to be more specific, Aggie Beaver-Jones.
Oh, same. She was my choice as well.
Yeah.
Just really excited to see how she does
last season.
this year.
Yeah,
I think she's going to be incredible.
Yeah, last season she turned us all into believers. You know, like she was. You know, like she sort of came in and nobody was really sure what she was about, and she just hit the ground running and bang, and she just exploded. I'm so excited to see what she does next.
You know, the biggest compliment I can give to her is nobody's talking about Lauren James.
Yeah,
that's how good she's been.
Yeah, who people have been touting for, you know, the women's Ballon d'Or and stuff one day. So, you know, it really says a lot.
Berth, anything other than what we've said for you looking forward to?
To be honest, all I put was sort of watching the attack, Joe, watching it because I feel like there's so many goals in that team that you can't just start. I don't know who's going to win top goal scorer. I don't know who's going to get all the goals. I think it's just going to be such an exciting team to watch going forward. All the names you mentioned then, I mean, it's just world class from top to bottom, really. And yeah, I just think going forward, I think we're going to be unstoppable at points. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right. What does success look like in Sonia's first season? I mean, if you look at the bookies, I found that quite interesting. I don't know if I've missed something. Chelsea are favourites. Of course we are. We're quite decent favourites, but Arsenal are second.
Not Man City?
No, they're third favourites, which I found interesting because Arsenal have lost, I'm going to absolutely butcher the surname, so I'll just go Vivian, to City, which I thought I was like, you've just lost one of your better players. Yeah. Chris is going to correct me now. Viviana
Miedema.
That one. See, that's why I was staying out of that.
Nailed it.
That one's an encyclopedia. My God.
Yeah, I'm out. But we'll go Berth. What does success look like for you?
I think just being a Chelsea fan in general, I think the expectations are always going to be very high. I think we have got to be realistic. I'd like to think we can win the title again, like with everything we've just said. I think we have to finish top two. And I think we have to go on a real good cup run and get to a final at least. I think that's probably the minimum. I think one cup or any silverware at all this season will be successful. But again, I think we have got to kind of just set our expectations a little bit lower. It's a new manager, got some new players, and we have, even though it's a very good team and a very good manager, we have kind of still got to be realistic and be patient I know it's hard being Chelsea fans, but yeah, I think that's what I'd take as being a success this season.
Well, I mean, for me, this is Chelsea. Nothing less than the WSL title and a serious run in the Champions League will do. I don't know what you think, Chris.
No, I agree. I think I agree with Berth as well, though. I do think you have to be a little bit more lenient with the new manager coming in, but I think if you're bringing in a coach who's won what she has with the squad that we've got, winning something. And I think the league's probably more realistic, because the reason why I don't like to say, I think we should win the FA Cup, for example, is because you don't know who you're going to draw. You can get to an FA Cup final and play nobody any good. You can play all teams that you should beat easily, and you can get to the final. Or we could draw Man City away in the first round.
Yeah.
And you think that's a really tough draw, and that is a game that could go either way. So I don't like to talk about cups. I think minimum, we have to take the league title. If we're not going to win it, we have to take the league title to the final day.
Yeah. Are you saying about
Champions League? I think, again, it will depend on the draw. But if we can, realistic, if we can avoid Barcelona for as long as possible.
That's the thing, isn't it? You've got to avoid them.
Semi-finals.
Yeah.
Semi-finals minimum. Yes, we draw Barcelona or that.
Yeah. I think, I largely mirror you guys. I've said a trophy, no doubt, potentially multiple, and certainly you have to have a good run in the Champions League.
That's the thing. That's our stick to measure, really, is the Champions League, because
it's the one thing that Emma was never able to win. So
yeah. It's a good point, actually, Chris, bringing up about the FA Cup runs, because I don't know if it's cast your mind back. If you do, fair play. 06-07 when we won the FA Cup.
Oh, you need the harp sound effect.
Of course. I mean, why have I not? So I will give you our cup run. 2006-07 season. Obviously, Chelsea are going to be in it. 6-1 against Macclesfield in the third round. 3-0 against Forest in the fourth. 4-0 against Norwich in the fifth. The quarters, well, it was easy, wasn't it? We had Spurs. We had a 3-3 draw, and then we beat them 2-1 back at Spurs, funnily enough. And the semi-finalists before United, who did we get? Blackburn Rovers. Wasn't the difficult of cup draw finals, was it?
Yeah. Same with when we got to the final under Tuchel. Easy, we had an easy run to get there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cup runs are like that. You can. Well, look at the FA Cup now in the men's game. Realistically, if you can avoid Man City, you've got a good chance of getting to the final. But you draw Man City in round 4, you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, but conversely, Chris, also, if you're looking at Tuchel there, you could look at the Champions League draw we had when we won it under him, and that was a really tough draw. We played Real Madrid, we played Man City,
exactly.
We played the top teams to win it. So, sometimes a tougher draw like that isn't always bad, because if you can get through the tough fixtures, you've got the motivation then to go on and win something.
Yeah,
100%, 100%. There we go. Look at that. We've previewed the WSL season, and that was absolutely top-class content. Yep. So if people skipped ahead, they've missed a cracker.
That was one of the best segments we've done in a long time.
I'm going to drop it right there.
Probably ever.
Yeah, maybe ever.
Yeah.
If you skipped ahead, you missed out. You really did.
You did, yeah. So that moves us on to the fantasy draft. And this time it's for a shithouse 11, which, as I said, podcasting purposes, will be calling a Dark Arts 11. So obviously, just for some context, what's a shithouse? Well, the players, they're sly, they're filthy, maybe they're a bit of a pantomime villain. That's what we decide. We describe them, They employ those dark arts in football. And of course, without them, it'd be a boring sport, Yes, football would be cleaner, but we don't want clean. We want a hotel bed sheet. We want filth. And the rules for this draft, they're simple as ever. We must work together with 12 selections to create this Dark Arts 11 and a manager. Got to have a manager. So that's 11 plus 1 equals 12. So one of us needs to have a goalkeeper, of course. That kind of helps. And it is a snake draft. We can worry about the formation at the end, because I know that was in the group chat. I was like, it doesn't matter. So I haven't even done the draft order. That's really bad. I can actually get a random. I've got to find the list thing, isn't it? Where is it? Random list. I don't know.
We're diving deep into the filth on this one, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting filthy.
Right, let's put all our names in, and let's see what the order is. Oh, it goes Mike, Ollie, Berth, Chris. Okay.
Sound.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm happy because with my first pick, oh yes, I select Kevin Muscat, centre-back, Australia. He is the most hated man in football. 12 red cards, and when Neil Warnock calls you a shithouse, you're a shithouse.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
He has broken limbs. He's broken legs, which are limbs. He's the most hated man in football. I keep reading this everywhere, so I had to have him as my number one pick. I would feel disgusted at myself if I did not choose such a icon of the game. So Kevin Muscat is first. Ollie, who have you got?
I'm going with maybe one that people don't always necessarily think about straight away, but actually I think his body of work over his career has really contributed to him being a true shithouse, certainly when he was in the Premier League. And that's Marouane Fellaini.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
didn't see that one coming.
No, I did not see that coming.
But he's big, he's physical, he's throwing elbows around all the time, he pulls people's hair, he's knocking people over. He's a shithouse, man. He's a big, stiff shithouse looking to just knock everyone around.
I don't think he's ever been chosen second in any.
I don't think
in anything.
Well, it's an 11, isn't it? So I wanted to get a midfielder in there.
I mean,
I don't mind it.
I mean, I don't know if he's married. I'm pretty sure his wife chose him first. Kind of important. I think so. But wow, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Right, we go to Berth.
Right, I might as well put a keeper in, seeing as there hasn't been one yet. I've got to go for him just because I think he's the ultimate shithouse, especially in penalties. It's Emi Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
no doubt.
Good shout.
Oh, good shout.
Because
good shout.
I mean, he is a shithouse. He puts people off. He's a little bit of a prick, isn't he? When it comes to penalties, he won that penalty shootout for Argentina before they even kicked the ball. Honestly, it was crazy, and then. He's also a really good keeper as well, which actually annoys me a bit because he's just a bit of a dick.
The thing is, he's not afraid to properly give it the big one because he's good enough. He's to back his confidence with ability.
100%.
I'll say it on my board. 6th spot was Jens Lehmann as my goalkeeping pick because it was either going to be him or Schumacher. But I remember because Schumacher, if you don't remember, listeners, I hope you do. He cleaned out Patrick Batterston. And I
think that's being nice, to be honest.
Yeah,
he almost decapitated
the stands.
Yeah. But I remembered Lehmann was like how he was with Drogba, and he was a goalkeeper that dived. No, not for the ball. No, he was one of them. But hey, wow!
I think Martinez is a great shout because he is. He even did it in the World Cup final.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, Chris, who's 4th pick?
I'm going to go for a striker.
Go on.
Cool. Luis Suarez.
He's on my board.
Nice.
Got to be up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you bite people, you've got to be on there a shithouse, haven't you?
You know what? My reasoning, he's 4th on my board. The reason I put him there, I just put he literally bit a man 3 times. He did it 3 times.
Is that being a shithouse or just being a bit of a psycho?
He cheated Ghana out of the semi-final.
You're talking that's what I was going to say. You're talking about shithouse, Ray.
Yeah.
That handball against Ghana and then celebrating the penalty miss.
I couldn't believe that. When that penalty hit the bar, I could not believe it.
Yeah, it's just it's just devastating.
You can't write football that unfortunate for some people. Oh my days.
No. Right, Chris, it's back to you.
It's tough. I'm gonna go for another midfielder.
Go on.
Scott Brown.
Oh, he was on my board.
Yeah, Scott Brown's a great one.
Great shout.
Absolute prick. One of those players who you probably loved him if he played for you, but if he didn't, you thought he was an absolute knob.
Yeah. You're right. I can't disagree.
And wasn't he always sent off as well?
Oh, probably. That seems a very Scott Brown thing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he has. I don't think he has had loads of red cards.
Let me pull up
because the
his
ref was
stats.
probably scared of him.
I'd be scared of him.
In his
Yeah,
career of
definitely.
763 games, he got sent off a total of 4 times.
Yeah, it's not that many,
That's not
really.
bad,
That's-
actually.
that's
Not when you
really
consider,
good.
Lee Cattermole was almost double that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in one season.
Yeah.
Oh my word! I tell you what, it's not bad. A bad 11 starting to fall. It's to birth.
Right. So my first pick was actually a quality player. My second pick isn't going to be a quality player, but I think he is actually the ultimate shithouse. So he's just an absolute dickhead. Little things he does. Always seems to get into a fight. Always does on Twitter as well.
Oh.
He's a striker.
Oh.
And it is Neil Mopay.
Oh, I did not see that.
That's a good shout. He is a proper shithouse. Like a proper modern shithouse.
I was so
Troll.
sad to see him leave the Premier League. I
And
was.
what summed it up is when he's got, I think he's at Marseille now, isn't he? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
he basically posted that thing of like a gift for the Shawshank Redemption
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
finally gets out of prison. And you think, wow, you're actually an arsehole, aren't you, mate?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's an actual dickhead. That's
he
the
is,
thing.
yeah, that's Shithouse is his middle name, to be honest with you. He basically got Amy Martinez a career in football as well, so it kind of links together.
Yeah, you look at that Marseille team, and apart from the obvious name that we're not going to go into, there's some players on there with interesting personalities that have got controversial histories. You know, you've obviously got Neil Mopay winding people up. You've got now Adrien Rabiot. And I believe, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but there is definitely a controversy section on his Wikipedia page. And that's, I'm guessing this wrong, but Eli Wahi. Oh, that's straight away I shouldn't have said his name. It's just awful pronunciation. But it's Marseille. It's Marseille. And please tell me Gattuso still manages them. Probably
No,
doesn't.
it's De Zerbi, isn't it?
Oh, it's De Zerbi.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's De Zerbi.
I want Gattuso. That's proper, isn't it?
Well, they've all done bad things, so they must deserve it.
Oh dear. Right.
Yes, Ollie.
On
Well
that,
done.
Ollie, it's your turn.
Right, I'm going to go with one of the most quintessential shithouses of all time. Legend of the game, legend of La Liga. He needs no more introduction. It's Sergio Ramos.
He was my second pick.
Yeah.
Oh, great shout.
Good show.
You know, like it's very rare that you find a player who is both extremely talented and an excellent leader and also will do absolutely anything it takes to win. And you add those three things together and you get a player like Sergio Ramos. I can't count the number of times he's been sent off. You know, like his disciplinary record is not great, but do you know what? He's such a shithouse and he's managed to win so much that you would almost say that's a credit to his game.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, yeah, he's got to be in there.
I love that man. You know, come on, he's handsome. He can rock any hairstyle. I mean, he's had long hair, short hair, no hair, mullet. He's not a shithouse though. I think he's a shit hotel. Because look at everything he's done. You know, tactical red cards for the record. You know, he's had the tactical bookings for a suspension back in 2019. He took out Mo Salah. He's got to make the team. He's a guarantee. I wonder how many red cards he got.
And
he's got a lot.
Just
yeah,
for
he's got a lot.
It's
19,
like
10.
Oh, Jesus.
10.
Yeah, it's
19 second yellow cards. Holy shit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's and as well for the 11, he can also play right back. So
yeah, that's quite useful.
Yeah.
I've got a double pick. So with my whatever pick it is, I've got Mark van Bommel, midfielder, Netherlands.
It's a good
And
shout.
Yeah.
you know what? This was a late inclusion because he wasn't third on my list until I found out that he pinched Thiago Motta in the Milan derby. And then I thought that's weird.
He's a naughty boy, that.
But he did it again to the Danish player William Vischt at Euro 2012. So if you throw that in with the tackles and the red card antics, he has to be in. He pinched a person twice. So you've got someone who pinches people, and up front we've got someone who bites people.
It's a playground bully mess, isn't it? You know, like
It's a lot of red cards in this team. A lot of red cards.
I'm trying to be tactical.
We're going to end every game with 8 players.
So we have 2 strikers. We have 3 midfielders and 2 defenders. Oh, my next player. Oh, it's so obvious to go with this guy, and he completes a forward 3, but this one makes it he could play a midfield. Oh, I'm gonna go with my 5th pick on the board. I'm not going with my 3rd. I'm going with El Hatchdoof.
He could probably play on the wing, actually.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
Couldn't he?
Because El Hatchdoof, forward, Senegal, because he ended his time in the Premier League with more yellow cards, 58, than goals and assists combined, 53. And the thing is, when you think of Diouf, you don't think of a goal he scored. You don't think of an assist. You remember the time he spat in a player's mouth.
Yeah.
He did that. And that player is now a detective on the police force. Ian Dazoo is now a detective.
Talk about DNA evidence.
Yeah. It was just the most bizarre thing that I found out whilst doing the research. I was like, Dazoo, he played for Wigan, got spat on, and now that's an interesting new life. I mean, fair play. That's
He went
incredible.
from Dazoo to detective.
I don't know if he's a very good detective.
I see what you're trying to do there, by the way. And
it says here, he's specialised in forensics.
We need to stop now with the play words.
Forensics.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There you go. I mean,
do you know what? That happened to him, and he thought, "I'm never letting that happen to anyone else ever again."
Right. So, Ollie, who's your next one?
I'm gonna chuck in another defender because I think we need one. And on the left-hand side this time. You know what? When I was first looking at this for the left back spot, I wasn't sure who to pick because there were a few like good options, but there was only a few. There weren't many sort of good outside shots. So I've gone in the end with Andy Robertson from Liverpool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because all he does,
I agree with that.
Every time I've ever seen him in a game of football ever, he's winding someone up all the time. He's never not actively trying to piss someone off, and that's surely. That's short, like not a shit house. He's a shit street, you know.
Oh, it's a good shout. Right, so Berth, you can complete the 11.
So we've got 3 attackers, 3 midfielders, 3 defenders at the moment, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually, that's pretty good. You could make the formation whatever you want, Berth.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got to go standard 4-3-3. I think that's what I'm going to go with now. So I'm going to put in another centre back. He was probably king shithouse, if I'm honest. He was Ramos's partner for a long, long time.
Oh, he's on my board.
Yeah,
and he is like a proper. He got a lot of red cards. He was always to play against. Always one of the strikers, and that is Pepe.
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still going somehow. Still going.
I think he's retired. Hasn't he retired? Maybe he hasn't retired.
I don't
He
think
played at the Euros in the summer.
Yeah, he definitely played the Euros.
He
Yeah.
He retired. Yeah,
wasn't that that was his last game? Wasn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Jesus, he is human.
Yeah. Oh my word! You know what? Before Chris drops his manager, the only other player, the one that I had third on the board was Diego Costa. But I just thought that Juve can play midfield. I just feel that was come on.
I do think though we have missed out on probably perhaps the OG shithouse Vinny Jones.
Keane. Oh yeah,
Vinny Jones is a good shout.
I had a few lined up actually because I knew we were doing an 11 and I wanted to have all my bases covered. So we missed a few that I had. So like Rudiger, Chiellini, Aspi. He was a bit of a shithouse. Always knew sort of the dark arts of football. Got Roy Keane, Bruno Fernandes, Joey Barton, Eric Lamela, and then I've got Robben as well on the right hand side, the diving, and then of course up top, Adebayor, Zlatan, Balotelli, Costa.
Oh my word! To be fair, that is actually I had the only other player you haven't mentioned. I had 2 extras, and I had Craig Bellamy because
good shout.
Yes,
Great
shout.
Just ask John Arnerisa. Just ask him. And of course, I had Marco Materazzi.
Yeah,
I had him.
Do you know who?
I also had Danny Mills.
Ooh.
Danny Mills. I'll tell you, who is an outside shout as well, which we haven't mentioned, but he should be in it alone for this tackle on Pedro Mendes. Ben Thatcher.
Is he a shithouse or just a bit of a dick?
Well, I think they're one and the same, aren't they, really? I think.
Yeah. Do you know what the other 2 I had as well? Ashley Young and Wesley Sneijder.
Oh,
was Wesley Sneijder a shithouse?
Didn't he like kick someone in the chest once?
that was De Jong.
That was De Jong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
That was on Xabi Alonso.
Nigel De Jong. That's who I mean instead. Sorry, not Sneijder. You're a good boy, Wes. Don't worry about it.
Well, you know what? Chris has still got to choose a manager for us.
I think there's only one shithouse manager, isn't there?
Please be the
Jose,
one.
Jose Mourinho.
It's got to be Jose.
I didn't have him.
I didn't have him either.
I know who you would have gone with instead, but I think
I
it
had
has to be
Simeone
Jose.
as well.
That's who I had.
Same.
Yeah.
Nah, see,
Yeah.
I had someone totally different as well. I had Neil Warnock.
No.
No, that's a good shout.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah, those. So we've
But
got a tish god.
Jose at his peak.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Absolutely. You can't chat to Jose at his peak. He called Wenger a voyeur. He said he looks in people's windows.
My word. And yeah, he did also, stick a finger in,
Yeah.
Vito's
Poking
eye,
people
which
in the eye.
not the best. So we've got to run through the 11. We have Emi Martinez in goal. We have Kevin Muscat. We have Sergio Ramos, Pepe, Andy Robertson, Marion Fellaini, Scott Brown, Marco Van Bommel, Luis Suarez, Neil Mopai, and El Hatchdoof. So
I tell you what, you would not want to play that team, would you?
No, but do you think we'd able to complete 90 minutes without getting the game called off for a lack of players? Because we'd be down to like 7.
Almost certainly not. Suarez would bite someone in the first 5 minutes and get.
I think Kevin Muscat's probably the first to get a red card. I think Pepe.
I think Ramos has got to be up there as well.
Yeah. Oh my word.
It'd be like a race to the bottom, wouldn't it?
To be honest with you, they'd be fighting themselves as well. Like, all the other team be fighting themselves.
A lot of egos in that team. I don't think
Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer just sat on the bench. Just for fun. Right. That's the 11. So, Lion of the Week. We're taking on West Ham. Need a lion. I'm going in early. I'm just going to keep going with the Madueke train. Woo!
Nice. I like it.
I haven't thought at all about Lion of the Week this week.
I'll tell you what, I'll go, because I had a good game the other day. I'm going to go Jadon Sancho.
Oh, I should have done that. But that's a good shout. Come on, Wheel. Oh, no.
Chris, who you got?
Oh, dear.
Reece
James. Oh, dear, Wheel.
I'm thinking because it's a tough game. I'm trying to think who's going to start right back.
I think it'd be Gusto, won't he? Train midweek.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gusto because I think keeping Kudus quiet is going to be absolute key to getting a result.
Fully agree. If you want to know, the Wheel has chosen back-to-back Reece James. Come on, Wheel. Sort yourself out. He's not playing.
You can't leave the listeners like that. I'm going to go with Enzo Fernandez. I don't really know why. I just think he might have a good game.
You think he'll play?
He may well.
I don't know what... I mean, he was sick. I don't know what we're...
Yeah, I think he'll...
The Wheel has chosen Reece James again. Stop it, Wheel. Stop taking the piss.
Just take him off the wheel.
Well, he might come back in a few.
No, take him off the wheel until he's back in it.
Oh, Chris, he's gone with Mark Gu.
Oh, of course, yes.
He's not going to play.
Unlucky Will.
Nah.
Do you know what? Depending on how that goes, listeners, you might still win the Lion of the Week. So,
Yeah, that's so true.
Well, oh no. It's better than Reece James. Guarantee he's not playing. So, I have questions in my phone as I whip phone out. So, Vic Ferreira, would you guys rather sign a great centre-back or great goalkeeper this January?
Goalkeeper, 100%. Goalkeeper, 1,000,000%. I would bite your hand off for a goalkeeper half as good as Mendy was at his peak.
I'd say goalkeeper. I mean, Sanchez had a great game the other day, but
I disagree. Jorgensen's there. Don't need a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by Jorgensen, to be honest. But yeah,
listen, we just haven't seen Jorgensen enough yet to know one way or the other. But I think if you gave me the opportunity to buy a truly like Alisson level keeper this summer, I would do everything the club could to do it.
I'm just trying to find. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
It is tough because I do think a goalkeeper is really important, but I think if you put a really good centre back like Van Dijk level now in front of a goalkeeper, they can stop a lot. Do you know what? For the fact that they would also make other players around them better, I'd go centre back.
Oh,
I just think if you've got a keeper like an Alisson in net, all of your players are so much more confident to do what they want to do because they know they've got someone world class covering them. I suppose it's kind of the same with the defender, but
yeah, I just think if we was to sign a real top class, world class centre back, I think that then takes Colwill or Fofana, whoever plays next to him, up a level as well.
Mm.
So it's almost like you're getting two players.
But also, bench is one of them. Most likely.
Yeah, that's not my problem.
Oh my word. Right, we did have another one which I had to quickly find because I didn't save the document when I put it. But CFC Air, Reece James' injury was first considered minor. He's now been out longer than expected again. When does that uncomfortable conversation take place about either taking the captaincy off him or even worse, selling him?
Soon. I don't know when, but soon.
I think now, if I'm honest, I think not necessarily on sale, because you've got to remember, like, it's a really rare thing what Reece James has managed to do. Like, you know, be at your boyhood club since the age of 8, come through, not only be one of the best players in the world in your position, but also captain your side as well. Like, you got to remember, he is one of us. You know, so you don't want to just cast him out in the cold, but at the same time, you've got to have, like, your captain has to play. I'm sorry.
Well, he's never fit. That's the problem. That's what
I
sucks.
mean. Like, you have to, you know, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you may well be paying for the idea of him more than the player himself. And that's the danger of throwing good money after bad on him.
There's a player already looking like what early Reece James did, and that was Rico Lewis at City. And we lost. We really need Reece James fully fit, but is he ever going to be fit? That's the thing.
We haven't seen him play a good string of games together in since 2021.
Since Tuchel.
Yeah.
You know, like, something's got to change soon. I don't know what it'll take, but it has to get resolved somehow.
Right. Well, we'll move to Lone Army. Oh yeah. So we all know the rules. We don't need to know. You know, it's a game of categories. The category this week is goalkeepers. So the release of EAFC 25 is just coming around that corner. I'm not buying it. I don't care. But I want you to name the highest rated top 20 goalkeepers in this year's game. There are 23 because multiple players are tied on 83 at the bottom of said list. So
now, hold on a minute. Just to clarify, does that include icons as well?
No.
Just current players. Good question, Beth.
Current players.
Here's a good question.
Yeah, well, Petr Cech. No, he's not.
No, he has a striker card now.
Right. I'm going to Berth. We'll go Berth, Ollie, Chris. So Berth.
So top right keeps. Allison,
89.
Did me next, yeah?
It is indeed.
I'm going to go with Donnarumma.
Donnarumma, 89.
Who did you say? Sorry, Berth. I zoned out for a minute.
Allison.
Okay.
I'll help him out.
Edison.
88.
I'm going to go for... it is my go next, isn't it?
It is.
I'm going to go for a man I said earlier, Emi Martinez.
87.
Oh, good shout.
Thibaut Courtois.
Good rating.
Thibaut Courtois is 89.
Mike Mannion.
87. He got injured standing up. I'm sorry, that still bugs me. How did that happen against Liverpool? Oh.
Right.
Rocco Chelsea. Yeah.
Jan Oblak.
Oh, good shout.
Jan Oblak is indeed still on the list at 88.
Another Jan, but with a Y. Jan Sommer.
87.
Ooh.
Ter Stegen.
89.
That's a bit high for him, I think.
I'm going to go with Gregor Kobel from Dortmund.
88.
He's
Great shout.
I'm going to go with... he had a good Euros. Mamadashvili.
85.
Wow.
Then Real Madrid. Then Atletico. I'm going to go with...
where's this alarm, by the way?
Oh, yeah,
let's see if Thingy's still on there. Manuel Neuer. Is he still on there?
86.
Three
I'll tell you
business
what,
days
Mike,
later.
Yeah, I tell you what, Mikey, come on.
Yeah, I think that was your warning. You're warned.
You're warning. Go on,
Okay.
Bert. Have a go.
Right. I'm going to go for David Raya.
Yes, he is indeed with 83, just in there.
Diogo Costa.
84. We're on to Chris now.
Oh, that's another good show.
Oh.
Vicario.
84. He's on there, yeah.
Sorry, who was that one?
Oh,
Vicario.
Vicario.
Spurs.
Oh, good shout.
We're nearly.
it's tough now. This is tough now because
Some of these players, wow.
I reckon I could be out here with this one. I'm going to go for Ariola.
You're out. Well, could we get back in it? It's up to Ollie. Ollie's got to get one right now.
I'm going to go with, even though he hasn't had the best reputation, I think he's still probably up there. Onana at United.
83. Chris, it's between you and Ollie if you can get an answer.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I think he's Hungarian. Is it Glasaki or Gulasaki?
Oh, Gulashi, I think it is.
Yeah, him. Yeah,
Peter
plays in
Gulashi?
Germany.
He's not on there. Ollie.
Oh, well done, Ollie.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with
No, you've
Jordan.
won. You've
I've
won.
won. Okay. I had
It's
one more. I was going to go with Jordan Pickford.
83 is on there.
Yeah,
What was
good shout.
Ariola, by the way? Because I feel like that's a bit harsh on Ariola.
82, I think he is, at West Ham, I think.
Well, I've got to find him now. Hang on.
Is that-
Yeah,
I'll put it for
81. 81.
Oh,
What?
Who else could we have had? Because
I reckon Bernd Leno's probably up there as well.
No,
Bernd Leno's
no,
good.
you've got
No.
Alex.
is Ramsdale up there?
No, you've got Alex Romero from Sociedad. You've got, oh my word, I don't like these names. Ivan Provedel, who I don't remember who he plays for. I think he plays in. Is he in Italy? Ivan Provedel. I think he's in Italy. He's got to be, hasn't he? Lazio's keeper. Jordan Pickford, obviously, you just said. Lucas Hradecki. He plays for Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Nick Pope is on here.
Really?
83. Yeah.
Wow.
And the final two, you could have had Unai Simon and
Oh, yeah, Bilbao.
Yassin Buno, otherwise known as Bono. Yes, the Saudi
from
Pro
Syria.
League keeper.
The Moroccan keeper.
I'm
He's,
shocked.
Yeah.
Well,
had a good World Cup, didn't he?
but
He did have a good World Cup.
there we go. Ollie has took his total for the season to 9. He's one behind Chris now.
Well done, Ollie.
I feel like I'm like Ronaldo, but in his Saudi days at the minute. Like, it's still got a
You
bit.
started really well this year. You did.
But just kind of just at his like the end of his career now when it comes to Lone Army Carousel.
You're like 2023 Reece James.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
We'll do a Hazard's headliners on Monday. So that's a nice little easy little quiz to end with that. So maybe we'll have double wins, beating Villa, beating West Ham. You never know. But that's the end of another episode. Thank you as always for listening. Treat yourself well. And we'll be back on Monday. So till then, that's us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.